It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, welcome back and happy Monday. All right guys, so it's another round of Wake Up and Adam. That's me. You guys get to wake up, so whatever that means, grab your coffee, your tea, or if you're like me, your 4 shots of espresso. I'm so excited to be back only because let me tell you guys while we wait for people to get in the room about my weekend. So last week on January 5th was my dad's birthday, and somehow I dropped the ball along the way, and Jason came up with this idea, let's drive from Palm Beach County to Orlando. So it's about a 3-hour drive, and that's exactly what we did. We went and spent the weekend with my dad, took him out to dinner, had a great time. But now I have this thing, and I don't know if I need to go to a therapist about it or what, but I get anxiety. When I'm not on YouTube and I'm not working, if I feel like I have the hardest time enjoying anything that I do. So I do have to give big props to Jason because sometimes he makes me realize in the thick of all of it, he's like, you need to take some time for the family. It's not all about work. And while sometimes I think it's all about work, I get where he's coming from. Guys, this is a subscribers only live chat. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. We're less than 2 minutes in and we already have almost 100 people in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. And we have a lot of Bravo and other topics to talk about. There's a lot of scandals coming out. But at first I want to keep it a little light, fluffy, airy, so to speak, only because, well, things are about to get a little intense. So we do have Luann who's launching her new Fose, and she said in an article, actually in an interview, I'm really hoping it can help take away the stigma of making the choice not to drink. She's committed to, I guess, helping people be sober and feeling like this is the exact thing that everyone needs. Now, the funny thing I get out of this is we've seen Luann try it. We've seen Sonia try it with Tipsy Girl. We've seen Ramona try it with the Pinot Grigio. Nobody has really been able to conquer this market like Bethany Frankel. Now, mind you, Bethany Frankel's Skinny Girl Margarita definitely has alcohol in it, so it is a completely different brand. But Luann might see, okay, well, there's a market for this. I'm going to try to make it work. I don't know if she's going to be as successful as Bethany Frankel, but I do want to ask you guys in the live chat while everyone's still getting in, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Fose has potential, or do you think this will be another flop for the books, just like the toaster oven? Let's see who's in the room. Suzette said, I'd try it. Sarah said, wow, that pic of Luann is so photoshopped, airbrushed, edited. Can we normalize normal pics and looking your age? Yeah, well, great question. I just food shopped for the first time in 2 weeks, and my dishes are not done, and I haven't even done one of Adam's commitment yet. 1%. That's okay. That's okay. You're in the room. Hey. Kaya D, hello. Annika, hello. Barbara, I lived in Palm Beach County for 7 years before I moved back to New York City. Yeah, it's interesting down here. Good morning. I love waking up to this show. Good morning. And BK said, I think you might, Adam. All right. Good morning, everyone, said Jen. Hi, Murray. Good morning. Okay. So, no, I did flop. All right. And I don't drink. Now, with the way the world is, I need booze. Yeah, Renee, I don't think you're alone on that one. I do think that this could have potential. And we see Lala Kent, who just celebrated 3 years of sobriety. Now, I was watching people comment on Luann's Fose, and I was seeing what people were saying, especially on Twitter. Everyone is so mean. This is why I try to stay off of social media. And it's part of my job, so I don't really have a choice. But anyways, it does get cruel. And people were questioning Luann. They're like, how do you wade in and out of sobriety and then try to pitch a sober-only drink? That doesn't really make sense. I'm thinking in my head, guys, let's throw this woman a bone. Obviously, she's not currently filming The Real Housewives of New York. She doesn't have that income coming in, so she has to do something. And we have heard a little bit of an update when it comes to The Real Housewives of New York. Now, Andy Cohen and a couple of the execs at Bravo did release information that, of course, they are trying to do a complete cast shakeup, pretty much like they did for Orange County. Orange County, they took out Bronwyn Wyndham Burke, Elizabeth Lynn Vargas, and Kelly Dodd. They brought back sort of an OG, which is Heather Dubrow, and then 3 new cast members. In doing so, they saved so much money on the budget, which was completely smart on Bravo's end. But now it looks like they're trying to do the same thing for New York. We heard when it comes to the cast shakeup for New York that there will be one OG returning, at least in a friend of capacity, and they're trying to get back to the bare bones of what New York started as. Now, we were wondering, who could it be? Is it Heather Thompson? No, there's no way she's coming back. Is it Jill Zarin? Well, Andy Cohen did kind of say that she has been the most difficult in the past. However, she did make it onto Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, so it could be possible. And then they were asking, well, could it be Bethany Frankel? I don't think so, guys. Bethany Frankel has said time and time again, stop asking me about Real Housewives of New York. I'm out here doing disaster relief. I'm doing Be Strong. I'm on the front lines of every natural disaster. When it comes out, I'm putting myself in the line of fire, trying to really help out. I don't have time to fight with these women, which makes sense. At this point, Bethany's empire is so beyond that she doesn't really need to come on and play with these women, especially not with the way that the last season went. I mean, with them canceling the reunion and not being able to talk about a lot of things that went on behind the scenes. You know, Bravo launching a full investigation into Ramona for allegedly not cute remarks. I think that Bethany probably is looking at this franchise like, well, you guys have a sinking ship right now. You want me to save it, but I don't have the time. However, for Jill Zarin to come back, I think by bringing her and Dorinda Medley, we heard that they're keeping Ramona, Sonia, and Luann. I think you add in those other two, Dorinda and Jill, and then let's bring back 2 or 3 newbies, maybe even Ebony K. Williams, if she wants to come back to the show. I think we could get back to what the Real Housewives actually started as. Now, I was reading some more comments about this, and guys, over 150 in the room, smash that like button. Let me see, I have a super chat. Hold on. And then I want to tell you guys what I was about to say. Jessica Jammer, thank you so much for the super chat. Good morning and happy Monday, Adam and everyone in the chat. That's you guys. I'm Adam. Hope y'all have a fabulous start to your week. Put some Baileys in your coffee. I won't tell. Hey, I like that idea. Okay, so getting back to it though, we have seen some complaints on social media when it comes to this alleged cash shakeup for Real Housewives of New York, because a lot of people are saying that Ramona is part of the problem and that we're not getting enough diversity, enough change up on the actual show. People are saying that they're sick of seeing a bunch of older white women on the Upper East Side as if that is the only representation of New York. And I get where people are coming from. Honestly, I would love to see more Brooklyn. I would love to see more Harlem. I want to see more of downtown. I don't want to just see a bunch of women who are going to the Regency on the Upper East Side. Even though that is nostalgic, Real Housewives of New York, times are changing, and I feel like the franchises need to evolve with it, or they're probably going to disappear within it. Is that fair? I think so. Andy Cohen did answer a couple questions when he was doing a Q&A on his social media. And when he was asked, who is the most iconic housewife? Will there be a Real Housewives of Miami reunion? I have these questions too. I want to know who he thinks the most iconic housewife is. And I want to know about the reunion, because I think it's a fair question. New York didn't have a reunion. You know, there were some other franchises like Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. Andy said, I don't think they needed a reunion. I agree with that. But when it comes to Real Housewives of Miami, fans were questioning only because it's on a completely different service. We have it on a streaming service now, which is Peacock, not on Bravo. So it's a fair question, I think, right? And he said this. Oh, hold on. Where are you, Andy? He said, do not sleep on the Real Housewives of Miami. Yes, they will be having a reunion, and we are excited for it. I think that they poured so much money into this new reboot that it would only make sense for them to have a reunion. And I'm guessing with the budget behind Peacock, this reunion, along with the production level of this new season, it's going to be next level, top notch, and the women are going to bring it. So I love that he said that. Now, he did answer a couple more questions. One was, who was the most iconic housewife? And I want you guys to answer that in the live chat before I go ahead and put that in. I'm also going to drop in a call-in link for anyone who wants to call in. Let's see. MBK said, who's going to host the Real Housewives of Miami reunion? Me, duh. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, it'll be Andy Cohen. Everyone keeps saying Andy Cohen is on his way out from NBC and Bravo. I don't think that's true, guys. I think if Andy wants to leave the network, that will be completely up to him. But if you see all of the shows come up, his name is still listed as an executive producer. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And when it comes to the reunions, that's kind of his shtick. So if you guys are expecting someone else to come in, I wouldn't hold your breath on it. While Peacock and Real Housewives of Miami would be a great way to test out having a new host for the reunion, I really don't feel like Andy Cohen will give up the control. I don't, because this was his baby from the get-go. Andy Cohen started the Real Housewives based off of watching Desperate Housewives, came up with this idea, pitched it to the network, and then became sort of a face of the whole entire umbrella of the franchises. So again, who do you guys think is the most iconic housewife in Andy Cohen's eyes? 200 in the room, smash that like button. Krista Marie Miller said LVP. Okay. Jocelyn Hernandez. I don't know about that. The reboot is actually really good. I agree with that if you're talking about Orange County. And then Barbara Romeo said, I live in New York, and these women they had on the show wasn't New York reality at all. I don't know any women like these chicks. Okay. And then Renee said, Adam, I love you. You were always right. Remember what started Andy being Bobby Brown. Okay. All right. So I don't see a lot more. Oh, Bethany, Sarah smile. Bethany is the most iconic, most successful part of the show, most recognizable, most marketable. Bethany. Guys, you're going to freak out. So it's not Bethany. I would have guessed Bethany or LVB too. It's not either one of them. It's actually Erika. He said she changed the game. He listed Erika as the most iconic housewife to date. And changed the game how? She changed the game because her husband was tied to one of the biggest scandals in pop culture history of our time. That's changing the game. Even though she did show up, she showed out, she made it to the reunion. We heard today from Tamra Tattles, and Jason's going to be talking a lot more in depth about salaries revealed and Mary Cosby calling it quits if she did. He has a whole live coming on at 11:15, so I don't want to touch too much on it. But apparently, from what we're hearing, Erika was making about 200 plus thousand for sitting down that one day at the reunion, because that was 4 episodes. It's divided by about 60 plus thousand per episode. I was shocked. I did not know she was making that much. And if she is, then no shit that she's going to show up. But does that automatically make her the most iconic housewife? Because she's not answering the questions about the legalities of what's going on within the Girardi scandal? Because she's posting lingerie photos instead of recognizing the victims? That makes you the most iconic? I don't know what the standards are for Bravo anymore. Hold on, let's see what you guys are saying. Barbara said, Erika, what? Murray said, that actually makes me mad. Erika, really? I would have thought Teresa. Erika, no. Throw up emoji. What? No, Andy. Huh? Ew. Oh my gosh. Down with Jason said, yikes. Okay. The person wrote fashion wise in parentheses. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's go back. Oh, good catch. Fashion wise. That makes a lot more sense. Guys, this is why I need to start reading all of it, because in my head, I was like, I don't even think that she's the most iconic fashion-wise, to be fair. And I think Erika has some good fashions, but when you're paying $40,000 a month in glam and paying for this whole team to follow you around, which she can no longer afford, obviously, because everything has come crashing down. And she's trying with those $710 clip-ins. She's trying, but I don't think that makes you the most fashionable. I think that we have Dorit Kemsley, who's also extremely fashionable. We've had some other housewives on other franchises, like Marlo Hampton is also extremely fashionable. New York, ladies, I'm sleeping on you over in New York. I'm sorry. Potomac, we're definitely not saying it's Giselle. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, it could be. It could be her. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one. I did want to talk a little bit because we are coming back at 12:30 p.m. Eastern with Layla Lang, Grace Report, and Tisa Tells to recap Porsha's Family Matters. Now, last night was an explosive episode, and there was a lot that was happening, and I had a lot of questions. In the episode, if you guys missed it, Porsha, obviously we see her get into this physical altercation, and the family's talking about how the next day Porsha texted everyone and said, do not talk about last night. Well, they're sitting around in this moment where they're all kind of chatting and trying to work through their differences. The whole premise of this trip to Mexico is family bonding, blending our family, making sure we get along. I get what she's trying to do, but having your family not talk about something that was major that happened the night before, where everyone's getting physical, fighting, the cameraman's getting pushed out of the way, the boom mic is getting tugged on, that's something we have to talk about. Now, producer James, if you guys don't remember him, when Candace Diller Bassett and Monique Samuels got into their physical altercation, James was the one who was trying to hold Monique back. You guys might recognize James from Salt Lake City, producing on that show, producing on Real Housewives of Atlanta, producing on Real Housewives of Potomac, and obviously even producing on Porsha's Family Matters. James is well known in the Bravo world, and I think that he kills it as a producer. I love that they were breaking the fourth wall in this anyways, because we all had the same question. I felt like I was watching Sutton on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills all over again, because my question was, hold on, wait a minute. Why are we ignoring this big fight that happened the night before? And Porsha comes up with an answer and she's like, wait a minute. So are we done with the scene? You want to be done with the scene? He said, yeah, I guess, because I don't know. Why is no one talking? Finally, her aunt ended up throwing her under the bus saying, well, she texted us and said, don't mention it. And James was like, okay, screw this. This is not what we're doing, which I agree. You signed up for a show. You had this big moment. They're obviously going to show it. It's probably the only content that they have for the show, unfortunately. Yeah, we have to talk about it. But I did want to ask you guys in the live chat too, do you think that it's shady that Porsha was trying to avoid the conversation in hopes that it would be edited out? Or do you think it only makes sense that Porsha wouldn't want to rehash technically the past, but it was only 12 hours ago? You signed up for a reality TV show. You're contractually obligated. You didn't want to go on the Real Housewives of Atlanta because Kenya Moore and Marlo Hampton were sitting there waiting to rip into you. Obviously, they were extremely vocal after everything happened, after it all transpired between Simon and Fallon and Simon and Porsha and Dennis and Porsha and Fallon and Jalen. Everyone had an opinion, including the Housewives. And part of the reason that I think Porsha ended up going onto her own spinoff show was because she didn't want to face these women and have them butting into her relationship. Now we know that Porsha has Simon's name on her, and Simon just got a new tattoo that says Porsha. So obviously things are getting more serious, but is a name enough in order to sustain a relationship, a tattoo? I'm going to go with no. Again, 250 in the room, smash that like button. Let's see what you guys are saying. What? Yeah, I agree. Mama Cat said, I love Porsha, but I am not sure she has really learned anything from the time that she attacked Kenya. Oh no, she's morally corrupt. Porsha is trying to help her family and making a huge mess. Bravo, 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 LOL. That's it. Bravo. Bye, girl. Okay. And Sarah smiles. Porsha isn't savvy enough to try and produce the show. She should have stayed on Real Housewives of Atlanta, took those jabs Kenya would throw, and move on. Honestly, I agree. Love you, Adam. Think you have great insight. Thank you. And Rosemary said, thank you for 100 likes. Now let's get to 150. I agree. Okay. So Aunt Liz, yes, it was Aunt Liz, is the best part of the show. Also agree with that. Now, I wanted to move on because, again, we're going to be back today at 12:30 to talk about Porsha's Family Matters, so I don't want to touch too much on it. But I did want to give you guys a little bit of insight in case you missed last night's episode, only because we don't get much of breaking the fourth wall. Denise Richards, I feel like, started it with bravo, bravo, king bravo. And then they started to move in that direction where we were seeing more of the production behind the scenes and seeing them kind of, I guess, converse with the talent. Porsha would be the talent. Now, we will again touch more on that because I want to get your insight on the fight, but I want to pan over to another show. Jason keeps calling this show the last season, the season of completion, and I don't think he's wrong. He's talking about Vanderpump Rules, and you guys, we always have a great, audience for our lives when it comes to Vanderpump Rules, because I think with Jason and I's backgrounds, working for Lisa, working in the restaurants, it gives you some behind the scenes, maybe a little bit. And I did have some more information. Now, James and Raquel broke up around the same time that Randall and Lala broke up. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't see this one coming. Raquel actually opened up in an interview saying that at one point she was afraid to break up with James. She had to come up with an exit plan because she was not comfortable. She didn't know how he was going to take it, and she didn't want him to freak out. When she opened up on Sheena Marie's Shenanigans podcast, and she was like, listen, I was waiting for James to go out of town, and I had this whole exit plan. I knew after rewatching the episodes and seeing how James was reacting that I couldn't be in this relationship anymore. Sheena said, what was the breaking point? She said, well, I'll tell you. We went on a Thanksgiving trip to go see my family, and James and my dad got into a conversation. My dad bought him some hiking boots and wanted to know why James was not wearing the boots. It was a simple question. Why are you not wearing the boots? James could have simply said, because I don't need to wear them right now. We're not hiking, unless they actually were, which I don't know. But the point is, James flipped his shit, allegedly. And in doing so, caused a whole rift with the family. And then Raquel and James had to leave the family's house and go back to the hotel. Now, Raquel took this moment and she shared it on the Shenanigans podcast where she was like, I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm talking, to my partner and we can't agree on everything. And then I can't bring my partner over to my family's house because they don't like each other. She said, I feel like at the point that James and I decided to have babies, my parents would always be the bad grandparents and he would always find a reason not to want them around. So when I was reevaluating my life, I was like, this is probably not the life I want to have. And to be fair, good for you, Raquel. She did say that she was worried at first and she was watching to see how Lala was going to navigate her split. And she was really concerned for Lala and how she was going to weather the storm financially. Now seeing that Lala is doing just fine, it gave her the courage to do exactly what she wanted to do, which was part ways from her 5-year relationship with James Kennedy. Now, that's not the only Vanderpump Rules news. I've talked to you guys multiple times about editing and how editing can play a very specific role on any of the franchises. Well, last episode, we saw where the Toms brought us into their new bar, Shorts and Sandy's. And if you guys saw the sign, it came off a little bit lackluster, but at the end of the day, they are opening a new bar and it looks like it should be coming out pretty soon. I spoke with somebody who lives in Los Angeles right now who's very close to the Toms, saying that Shorts and Sandy's will probably be opening up in March, April, or May. Now, if that's true, congratulations to Tom and Tom, but they were kind of made out to look a little bit like fools on this last episode. When Lisa Vanderpump and the cast, they come over for this progress party. I was going to say progression party, but there was nothing progressive about this party. But this progress party, Lisa made a joke which made a lot of sense. Normally, when you do a progress party, it is because there is some progress. This is more like a breaking ground party. And Ariana came out. She wrote on social media and she addressed this. She's like, this is bullshit. This was all editing. They made Tom and Tom look like they had no idea what they were doing when in all actuality, there were 3 designers there on standby. The designers had renderings of what the restaurant was going to look like. They had materials that we could feel. But of course, they don't want to put that out there because they want to make Tom and Tom look as silly and not able to do this as possible. Ariana felt like this was a bad edit for Tom and Tom and that it's not really fair the way that they kind of portray them. But at the end of the day, I have to say this, just like I say to every single person who goes on to a reality TV show. You don't control the edit. That's the whole entire point. You don't get to control the edit. That was one of Jax's biggest problems with the show. Jax portrayed himself as an asshole. He ended up cheating multiple times. And he got this villain, bad boy sort of character that was stamped onto him for the rest of the time while he was on the show. Now, he would get frustrated because he always felt like he would be edited to look like this guy who could not control his anger and who would fly off the hinges. But you are still a part of an ensemble cast. So in the ensemble cast, we can't have multiple villains. Normally, there's one villain. There's somebody for comedic relief. There's somebody who likes to try to play both sides. We had Sheena, who they dubbed as the boy crazy one. I mean, everyone has their role. And once you start giving a little bit of an inkling showing that you are able to successfully carry that role, that is the character that will stick with you for the rest of the season. Think about The Hills. Bad boy Justin Bobby getting on his motorcycle, riding away. And Justin is, so hot, but he's so unreliable. He's not the dating type. And then he even came out in interviews after saying it got exhausting playing into this role. I'm actually not like that. I'm a great guy. I want to be in a relationship. I want to have somebody, that can hold me down. I can hold them down. But I was playing a character for the show. That's exactly what we're getting with the Toms, which I kind of feel bad, but then I kind of don't. You guys are getting paid a lot of money to look like you don't know what the hell's going on. And they also play into it. For example, if you're going to talk about coming up with a business plan and an idea in order to make this restaurant successful, you're not going to sit down with your business partner and say, hey man, let's take some shrooms and see what we can come up with. No, nobody's going to take that serious. And you have control over that. And that's exactly what you wanted to portray. So that's exactly what you're getting out of it. I don't think that you can complain. Now, guys, since we're talking about not being able to control the narrative, again, 320 in the room, smash that like button. Jax Wax Gross, glad he's out. Okay. 10 more to 150 likes. Hey, World of the Winnie Mom, they may not have been able to do that due to legal reasons, seeing as it is the name of a song. Okay. Jax is an ass. Yuck, Jax Taylor. I would have named the bar TNT, Tom and Tom. You can't name it after another restaurant that they already have, especially because Lisa and Ken, they own the majority of that restaurant. I think if Tom and Tom tried to come out with a TNT, that might have been a conflict of interest. I'm sorry, but Tom and Tom are semi-fools. Okay. Let's see. And show should have been called Porsha Matters to Porsha. You guys are shady. Adam, I just noticed this. You got to move the beautiful neon sign a little to your right. No, so, okay. Thank you. This is the beautiful neon sign. Normally, guys, I'm sitting down. So while I'm sitting down, you get to see the sign hovering right over my head. But I do have an adjustable desk, so it goes up and down. And when it does, when I'm doing my wake up morning show, I get so much energy in the morning from taking my 4 shots of espresso that I have to pace back and forth. I can't sit here in a stool. There's no way. I would be shaking. So I have to pace back and forth. This is how I wake up. I'm telling you, this is why Jason gets annoyed with me in the morning. I'm too much energy. But getting back to it, I was talking about reality TV and not being able to control the narrative. Now, there is one family who's been able to successfully prove this concept wrong, and that would be the Kardashians. Keeping Up with the Kardashians is supposed to launch their new season on a completely new platform, which would be Hulu. They moved it over from E! Now, on New Year's Eve, Hulu dropped kind of a teaser, like a 30-second to 1 minute of the girls going like this, and Happy New Year. We're ready for a new year, new us. And I was like, okay, listen, if we're going to see your business practices and how you're operating life and what life has been like after the show, I'm ready. Happy New Year to you too. But then, boom, Adam goes to Orlando for the weekend to go see his dad, spend some time. And then there's a clip that surfaces of Khloe Kardashian. Now, in this clip, Khloe Kardashian is seen talking about all of the backlash that she's getting for dating Tristan Thompson and Lamar Odom. She feels like people are attacking her because she has a biracial baby and she loves black men. Now, I don't think you should be attacked for that at all. And that's what she was saying in the clip. But then she also mentioned something that she's called, and she allegedly used the N-word. Now, if you use that word, obviously you're going to get backlash. It's inappropriate. It's never appropriate to use that word. It doesn't matter who you are or who you're dating. So Khloe has gotten a lot of backlash over the weekend because of this. And now fans all over are calling for Keeping Up with the Kardashians to be canceled, done, finished, finito. They're saying that they will unsubscribe to Hulu's subscription service if they do not cancel Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, in my mind, and I want to ask you guys this because I'm so curious what everyone thinks. E! signed a 3-year, $100 million deal with Kris Jenner and her whole squad, the whole Kardashian clan. When they did, they completed the 3 years. They took the $100 million and they said, you know what? We're going to cap it off at 20 seasons. They said, we're going to take some time off because we need it. Well, they didn't really take time off. They took about a year. We get it. We saw what they were trying to do. It's like when American Idol said, this is our farewell season. And then they relaunched it on a different network because a different network bought the show. That's exactly what happened with them. I'm guessing if E! offered them $100 million for their last 3 seasons, then Hulu definitely had to sweeten the deal in order to get the Kardashians over onto the Hulu streaming service. So if they've put in well over $100 million, that makes me really question because the season's done. They filmed it all. They're done with confessionals. They're done with all of the footage. They've got what they need. Are you guys going to axe the whole franchise because this clip has surfaced and answer the fans the way that they want you to? Or are they going to take a step back in hopes that this clip does not completely tear down everything that they've filmed so far? That's a question I have for you guys in the live chat. Susie, your energy makes me happy in the morning. Hey, thank you. Thank you for getting us to 150 likes. Now let's try for 200. All right. This may be controversial, but I don't think she said that word. It looked and sounded like the word sounded or started with a D. Okay. Time to cancel. She deserves all the backlash that she's getting. Khloe was responding to Kim being yelled at for having a black baby while visiting Austria. I mean, that's the thing is people are trying to figure out exactly what Khloe was referencing on the show. When the clip came out, it was running wild. People were freaking out. They're like, how is this woman getting away with saying this on such a public platform? How did this get panned over? It's a great question. But then other fans are like, that is not what she said. The word was bleeped out. That's not what she said. Now, I watched the clip. The word was bleeped out. I can see exactly why people are saying that's what she said. It's all alleged at this point because we didn't even get the first letter of the word. It was completely bleeped out. All we know is something was said. Now, is she going to do any press and acknowledge this? Well, she hasn't done it yet. Has Kris Jenner? No. Has Hulu responded to requests for comment? No. So we don't know how they're going to play this out. But what we do know is when it came to Bravo, whether it was a tweet that surfaced, a clip, whatever, everyone was being held accountable for cancel culture. If you say something and you have such a huge public platform and you're using your words recklessly, then you deserve to be kicked off the show and not have the public platform. So it makes me wonder, is that what's going to happen with Khloe Kardashian? Will they edit her out? Or will Kris Jenner be able to do, I guess, or work her magic and keep them on the air? Again, live chat, please sound off. I would love to know. Also, rest in peace, Bob Saget. Yes, guys, Full House's Bob Saget passed away. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. I agree. Let's see what you guys are saying. Marlo Lyle said, as a Black person, she should have changed the word in apology or no-go. Don't care if her kid is Black. Enough is enough. Okay, from what I saw, Chloe was actually reporting that she was being called a racial slur. Okay, who is even going to watch their show on Hulu? Not everyone has Hulu. No one was watching before. Why would they watch now? Well, we heard that they completely revamped the show and it was less B-roll and them eating their salads and more into like the business practices and behind the scenes. I don't know if they completely, if they took some time off and they relaunched the show, but they're doing the exact same thing that they did with E. I don't see it being a huge success, especially because somebody just said in the live chat, who's going to watch the show and have to subscribe to Hulu? E was free, Hulu is not. But Hulu's probably thinking in their mind, the Kardashians have such a big following. If we pay them enough, then they will have their following come in. There will be enough people who will buy the subscription service and they'll be worth the money. I mean, I can see before this came out business-wise, why Hulu would invest $100+ million into the women. Think about it like this too. Kylie and Kim alone have over 200 million followers on Instagram alone. That's not counting Twitter. That's not counting Facebook. I don't even know if the girls have a Facebook. That's not counting their Snapchats. That is just Instagram. So if you talk about all of their social media platforms, I'm sure with all of the girls combined, they probably have almost 1 billion when it comes to their following. Yeah, that's something to invest in. That's why Kylie Jenner gets paid $1 million to $2 million for one post. She's like, hey, have you guys checked out the new iPhone? Check it out. See you later. And boom, $1.5 million in her bank account just because she has the following to do so. It's mind-blowing, but it's real. Let's see. I'm not watching that trash family. Okay. That family is colonizing culture vultures. They are repeat offenders. Okay. So all we need is Peacock, Bravo, and Hulu, LOL. I mean, that's what it's starting to feel like at this point. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. All right, guys, with that, I know that I said I was going to kind of keep it. I said this yesterday. I was going to keep it a little bit shorter today just because we were touching on Bravo scandals. I did want to go ahead again and drop the call-in link and see what you guys had to say about some of these things because I do want to pick your brain. But don't forget, I pinned it in the live chat. 400 people in the room. Smash that like button. In the live chat, I pinned at the top, Jason is going live at 11:30 to talk about Mary Cosby and her exit from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Or is it not an exit? It kind of feels like an exit. He has some details and some comparisons with also some salary reveals. He'll be back to talk about that at 11:30, and I'll be in the live chat. Join you guys. I won't be on the live, but I will be in the live chat. Ebony Dick said, hi, Murray. Hi, Rosemary. Good morning. All right. Let's bring up our first caller, Krista Marie. Hi, Krista.
Hey.
All right.
So which one? Go ahead. Which one first?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I love your hair.
Oh, thanks. It's half done. I was like, what do I? Yeah. No extensions.
It's okay. This morning I said to Jason, I was like, Jason, I don't have any hair product. And he always he doesn't get frustrated, but he always tells me, stop going on and wearing a hat. It looks like you're not trying. So in the morning I try to blow dry and then I try to figure out some sort of hair product and I couldn't find any this morning. I had like a little freak out and Jason was like, I got it. Don't worry. It's in your bag on the right bottom drawer. It's like, thank you.
I didn't know if you noticed. I'm sitting here straight. As I'm looking backstage, I'm straightening my hair. I'm like, all right, putting it down.
No, you're fine. You're fine. All right. So Krista, I did want to ask you about keeping up with the Kardashians because obviously we know that this came out. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think the show will actually be canceled?
I don't think it'll be canceled. Now, let me ask you a question. If it's already taped and they're already paid and everything's set in stone, can they just take it right off? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then the money, they keep the money and everything just goes away, right? Or show goes away.
It would definitely depend on the contract. If there's a clause in the contract saying like if you guys do anything publicly that tarnishes the deal, like there could be a line in the contract that might say this is breach of. I don't know, but yeah, they could definitely take them off the air. They would just be losing millions and millions of dollars. I don't know if they would do that.
I don't think they will, but I don't think people are saying are going to watch it anyway. I think they stopped watching as it is. And I think this is just a convenient excuse. I mean, yeah, she was wrong. I did watch it. I can't imagine what other word she would have said. So if we try to think an adjective, like what other word could it have been? You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't really know, but I don't think that would be the main reason people would stop watching. I just think there's a combination of reasons that people wanted to stop watching anyway.
Okay.
And I even said, like, even if Hulu was $5 a month, I wouldn't pay to watch them because I didn't want to watch them when it was free. Because listen, I watched them the whole time.
Right. I mean, listen, I watched them 20 seasons. I remember watching them from Tennessee to LA, LA to Thailand, Thailand to New York, New York back to LA, and LA back to Florida. I've been watching them since I can remember.
My first episode that I saw that made me start binging it was when they were at the snow chalet, and Kim had the Ugg boots she was with Reggie, and she was for her first ugly cry
through her phone.
Yes, the first ugly cry face one. Yeah.
Yes, the first ugly cry face. Exactly.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, since you don't think that most likely they won't be canceled, there was another story that came out, and people are giving a lot of shit right now to Kanye West because he's parading around this actress, Julia Fox, and he did an interview with her and a complete photo shoot for Interview magazine. Now, he went on a first date with her down in Miami and then flew her to New York. And when she did, she arrived in the hotel suite and there were racks of clothes. He said, pick whatever you want. We're going to style you. We're going to do a shoot. And she said, oh my gosh, I feel like this was a full circle Cinderella moment. It looks like he's trying to make Kim jealous. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we know that he has, I'm pretty sure his diagnosis is bipolar 2, right? And obviously I have the same thing. Definitely, I don't think he's trying to make her jealous, but I think he's trying to just fill his time, and he's going to do the best that he can to parade some. Yeah, I guess you could say he's trying to make her jealous. Yeah. But I mean, it's just he's desperate to get her back. I mean,
even this photo, like, does this say, hey, to my wife, please come back to me?
I mean, no, but I don't know. Like, we know that Kim, though, when Kim makes up her mind and she's made up her mind that she's not going to go back. So no matter what he does, I think it's just going to make it worse. And it's hurtful probably to both of them. It's probably hurtful for her to see him struggle like this. Right. And to be out there so desperate because, she was trying to, she went, that was her husband. But, and she's got 5 kids, right? Or 4 kids with him. So
4 kids, yeah.
I think he needs to slow it down because it's hurtful to him and her and the family.
I also think for Kim Kardashian too, and this is what I meant when I said they have complete control over their reality TV shows because they are executive producers. They sit down as a family at the end of filming a season and they decide what footage goes in and what footage is cut. They have complete control and they're used to being able to control the narrative. Now, when something happens like Tristan Thompson getting another woman pregnant, they don't have control over that. They just have to do damage control. But for this situation with Kanye West, he not only embarrassed Kim by throwing his name on the ticket to run for president. Okay. Yeah. Then he also talked about her allegedly at one point having the idea of maybe getting an abortion. Like he revealed a lot of information that Kim did not want out there. She couldn't control him and neither could Kris Jenner. And I think that presented a problem.
A huge problem because she knows that when somebody's in a manic episode, and I have had the same issue, you you're doing this and it's like you really cannot control yourself, and she knows it's a lifelong battle. And I think when he went into this, I believe a psychosis manic, when he started to realize that she wasn't going to move, she's not going to be the wife like she said that can follow him around. It's not the wife that he deserves. I can't do what he wants me to do. Right. So I think that having full, I forget what was my point.
No, I mean, they didn't have control.
Yeah, like there's no control over it. She has no control over what he's going to do, and I think it got to be too much. I mean, I felt really bad for him when he was doing these things, but I could see like the word vomit, and it's like the things he said were horrendous, but. Being bipolar 2 is not an excuse, but, he needs to stay off of, he just needs to slow down. Right. Because he has to remember he has kids, an ex-wife. They do have a lot of control. He has a lot of people that follow him, and he needs to relax. He needs to take a breath.
There's a lot of listen, there's a lot of attention on that family as it is already. And Kanye West, they're well known. Everybody in the world knows who they are. And I don't even think that's a stretch at this point. I feel like they all actually know.
Now, do you remember how they went to bat for Tristan last season? The last season when they were quarantined? They were like, they had me convinced.
They were pushing like Tristan is this reformed man. He cheated on Khloe while she was pregnant.
How dare we question him again? How dare us fans say anything?
I realized that I did not like Tristan for Khloe. I felt like he was way too young. The way that he acted when seeing him in the confessionals, I was like, oh, okay. It almost comes off like Khloe is momming Tristan a little bit. And he is younger than Khloe. But when this came out with the Marley Nichols woman and, revealing that she was pregnant, the paternity test was telling, it's like, oh, shit, here we go again. That was another point where the Kardashians cannot control that.
Yeah, I really think that they need to, if they care about what people think about their show and their family, they need to stay off television for a while. But you got to think about it. We're still going to follow. We're still going to be able to see. Nobody's going to leave them alone.
But if you think about it too, it might be more detrimental to stay off of TV for a while because they don't want to be forgotten. It happens like this overnight where you're famous for 1 minute and then the next minute you're not. Now they have the big followings and everything, and I understand that. But not only do they sign $100 million plus deal by putting themselves on TV, but Kim gets to constantly put on her Skims and try them on and show her new press boxes. And then people are like, oh my God, I just saw Kim last night wear her Skims. I have to get a pair of those. And boom, promotion. I
see that too, I guess. I was a Kardashian fan. I just feel that they need to, if they care about perception, the public perception, they maybe should stay off of Hulu. I don't know. I don't know.
Listen,
I agree.
I agree.
Now,
Lisa H said, love your hair, Krista. Very rich.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm seeing the comments. I just have a hard time seeing them and trying to pay attention and
Jason had to go to Costco and get me a monitor because I was like, I have this over here, this over here, this over here. There's a lot happening. But
5 devices died on me all at once the other day. I was like, no. And my husband's like, maybe you should maybe go do the dishes or something. Maybe that's a sign.
Okay. You're like, no.
Can we talk about Vanderpump for 1 second?
Yes,
Please.
Absolutely. And then Kendall, I see you in the call list. I will bring you up right after we talk about Vanderpump Rules. Krista, go.
Okay.
What do you got?
Okay. We know that obviously with James and Raquel, I think she was absolutely 100% breaking her heart to save her soul. Definitely not easy to do. And for her to be the pure soul, I don't think we expected her ever to be strong enough to leave him until this season. Now, watching her, I was like, something had to have happened between Disney and those 2 days, right? What could have happened? But now that she's explained it, I'm glad that she explained it and I understand it now. And I think too, she's not more afraid of him physically. I think it was more of his hurting him or maybe pushing him over the edge to react more.
Right.
And obviously she made the right decision. And I was really rooting for him and her to have maybe a kickoff to a new Vanderpump where we would have them and the younger kids or whoever was working at SUR and then pivot to a Tom spinoff or not. Now we'll do a Shorts and Sandy spinoff. Now on Tom Sandoval, I've never seen anything in Tom that I dislike. I love Tom. I think he's been the same friend, the same boyfriend. He's been the same consistent great guy from day one.
Okay. And
them making, I don't know. I was upset with him. Why are you going to do shrooms? I really want to know if he did shrooms on camera when he's meeting with that guy who I find out.
I think, listen, I know a lot of people in LA too, and they would microdose and they could get their hands on it easily. And I feel absolutely. This was something that it reminded me of when they went to Vegas to meet Lisa to do the chandeliers and they were half drunk. But you got to remember that Lisa's still investing in them. So it is all for the show. And I don't think people will really believe that they're a joke or somebody that's a Jax Taylor, That's why Ariana even said in her interview, she's like, this edit was bullshit when they went into the new Shorts and Sandys. They made it look like Tom and Tom are completely incompetent.
Right.
And she's like, that's not fair because there were 3 designers there, which I remember seeing the 3 designers at the party. And she said they came with renderings. They came with fabric pieces, samples. They came with it all. So why did they show that?
Yeah, you know that Sandoval goes up and beyond what he can do. He's amazing, and he is 50% of the reasons I hate Jax. But like this the way he treated him. But like, and I feel that James, I was like, dude, don't stop smoking weed. What are you, crazy? Like, no. But I didn't realize how angry he was still going to. If weed's making him angry, then he definitely should have quit.
Right.
Like, so I don't know, maybe if that affected her.
He needs a lot of I feel like at this point he needs a lot of self-help and a lot of self-love.
I really want him to get it. Like, I think that it's definitely probably hurting him, but maybe this is what will make his soul a better person, and, you know, and they can find the right people for themselves, you know?
I agree.
They don't have to be right for each other, but they can be right for somebody else. Lala, on the other hand, I don't know who the heck she's right for. Maybe Tom Girardi, I don't know.
Rafilla said it's a miracle that two Toms can hold on to their partners through the stress of the show all these years. No, I agree. And one of them has lost a partner along the way. She cheated on him multiple times, but the show portrayed the reality of how it currently looks, and no progress is done, in my opinion. Right. He needs to quit for mental clarity. I don't think he'll have to quit. I think the show was coming to an end. But
do you know for sure? All right, go ahead.
Oh no, what were you going to say?
Do we know? Do you pretty much think it is, or?
I think there's no way that they can bring back the show with the current cast and give us any more. It's like when Jason says the season of completion, I saw where some people were commenting and they're like, "You're just a hater," and I'm like, "That's not what he's saying." He's saying that at this point, what more can we get? We've seen them move into these $2 million homes. They're starting businesses. The premise of the show when we first got it was a bunch of 20-something-year-olds, maybe people in their early 30s, working as bartenders and servers, trying to break into the entertainment industry.
What happened to the other guy? Remember, there was like 3 other new people. I guess they just didn't stick.
I don't think that they worked out.
All right. Yeah. Well, see, Schwartz and Sandy's or whatever spinoff will be a new Vanderpump. I believe that. So.
Yep. I mean, listen. Kimba said, "Can someone please tell me how you send a message with someone else in the live chat where you highlight the name?"
You hit the @ button, I think.
You hit the @
You have to do it from a laptop. From my phone, I noticed on my phone, if I hit @ it won't highlight the chat person's name. But if I do it from my laptop, I can highlight and the person will see it. Okay. I'm learning a lot that I didn't know a laptop and a phone did so many different opposite things. Yeah. So please
there's so much to this YouTube crap. Well,
guys, please bear with me. Oh God.
Krista, we will be back. We'll be back soon. In about an hour on Jason's channel. Down with Jason at 11:15 to talk about Mary Cosby, her exit, and salaries revealed. So hopefully you will be back with us.
I will.
I appreciate you for calling in. Thank you.
Thanks for taking my call.
Of course, always.
I love you guys. All right, bye.
Bye. All right, guys, so I'm about to bring up Kendall. Janet Barrett, love and miss you guys. Janet, we love and miss you too. Jason's mom is in the room. Hey. All right. So with that, guys, heard a lot of topics. Now, I do want to give all the callers an opportunity to call in. I see people bouncing in the room and bouncing out, but I will bring up our next caller. Kendall, you've even been bouncing in and out. We have 450 in the room. Smash that like button. Show some love. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed because this is a subscribers only live chat. I can't say that enough. Here we go. Hi, Kendall. Hello. Are you muted? Let's see. We'll give you a minute. Television is bad for James. I agree. I'd love for a 2 Tom spinoff. Okay, Tom spinoff. Hi, Jason's mom. How am I going to get stuff done today? Oh, you and me both. Kendall, we're going to wait and see. Let's see. Hi, Kendall. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. Kendall's having some problems with the connection, but that's okay. We have plenty of other lives coming on today. Again, guys, Jason at 11:15. I'm going back live with Layla Ling, Grace Report, and Tisa Tells at 12:30. We're back on DJ Richie Sky's channel at 2 p.m. Hopefully, we'll be back today for today's hot takes on Jason's channel. Anytime between 4 and 6, we'll be posting that on the community tab. And of course, pre-records all day in between. We're 50 minutes in the room. It reminds me of that old, do you guys remember on MTV, there was a show called Next where they would get off the bus and it's like somebody would walk off and they would look like a clown and the person would be sitting there and they're like, next. And they're like, oh, well, you lost out big time, buddy. And then they would get up and go back on the bus and take their $1. Well, at the end of it, they would say, you know, Shelby, you've been on this date for 45 minutes. So I really think that we enjoyed our time together. You can either take the $45 or you can go on a second date with me. Now, guys, here you could take the $50, which I don't have to give to 500 people in the room, or you could go on the second date with me tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I'll be posting it on my community tab tonight. I love you guys. Thank you so much to all of our super chats, super stickers. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to our callers. And Kendall, please try to call in again either later today or tomorrow. We would love to have you in your opinion. Also, guys, I hope that you start calling in, get comfortable. And if you don't, and if you ever have a question, you can always post in the live chat with a Q and then have it up and I will bring it up. That way, if you guys aren't comfortable putting your face on camera, I completely understand. We will work around it. Murray said, I'll go on the second date. Second date. Hey, they do that on YouTube now. I didn't know that. All right. All right, guys. I'll see you so very soon. Bye.